on this rainy night in Houston, Texas. It's KG, and you're listening to another installment, another podcast by yours truly. Let's get right into it. Let's talk some basketball, good basketball, bad basketball, and March Madness is almost here. The Selection Sunday for the fellows will be on just 2 days away, and then Selection Monday for the ladies. After that, my birthday's on March 14th. That'll be a day after the first four and on the men's side, and the day before the rest of the official second round of the men's tournament begins. So let's talk some college basketball. It's not very good for the Houston area basketball teams on the college level. Heck, even on the professional level with the Rockets on a 5-game losing streak. But let's just tell it like it is. It's some bad basketball this week. Thank goodness for the Texas Southern University Tigers men's basketball team coached by Tony Harvey. They won today in the semifinals of the SWAC tournament to advance to the conference championship game Saturday afternoon. Coach Harvey and the Tigers won 60-55 in Garland, Texas today over Alcorn State. There's a link already on my Twitter feed and on the Round Bar View page, Facebook fan page. Excuse me. Quote from Coach T. Harvey: "We've been preparing for this, what we call 3 days of hell. We are here now," said Coach Harvey. The man does not lack for a way with words or confidence. We got one more, and we have to stay locked in, get some rest, and get ready to compete tomorrow night. Good luck to them. As I said, they're the lone team standing in the Houston area men's college basketball. Why? Let me just give you the rundown here. The Houston Cougars men's team completed a disappointing season to me personally. Yes, the record was average at 515-15, but the Cougars lost in the first round of the Conference USA tournament to UTEP on March 7th, 67-62, a game they led for much of the ball game. But once again, the Cougars found a way to lose. What they've done a lot this season. This coming off after a unbelievable win Saturday evening over the Rice Owls inside the House of Tudor on Rice's campus. Cougars found a way, some miracle, to win 76-75, a game they led much of the way into the final minute when the Owls took a 75-74 lead. Cougs had a chance to tie the ball game. Jonathan Simmons had a chance to tie the game up with 2 free throws. Missed the first one, made the second one, cut the lead to 1, cut the deficit to 1. Neither team had any timeouts. Cougs, after using that final 2 timeouts, defended the inbound pass, forced the Owls. Senior Connor Frizzell on the senior night for the Owls. Connor tripped over his feet, caught the ball, the inbound pass while falling down. In a very quick instant, called timeout. Ref saw the call, ref called timeout. Then Connor realized, I don't have a timeout. After debating, the refs verified and confirmed that Connor Frizzell did call a timeout, which the Owls did not have. You know what that means if you follow college basketball. Technical free throws go to the opponent. Senior Darren Thibodeau for the Cougs sank both free throws, and the Cougs won the ball game 76-75. Great win for the Cougs, followed by a bad loss in the opening round of the Conference USA tournament on Wednesday, March 7th. The Owls. The Owls. They lost in the first round of the USA tournament, 68-66. But today they announced that they are going to participate in the College Invitational Postseason Tournament, the CIT. And next Wednesday, on my birthday, March 14th, they're going to be playing on the road versus Louisiana Lafayette. So their season continues, and good luck to them. I understand why Coach Braun is doing it. He's got a young team. He likes to give his young players a taste of some postseason basketball, and I'm not mad at him. I am a bit surprised that the Cougars have not done so, but maybe the fact that they're only at 500 rather than above 500 like the Owls at 17 and 15, maybe that's the reason why the Cougars are not in, but trying to play in one of these bottom feeder non-NCAA tournaments. But I digress. As a Cougar alum, I'm disappointed in the season. I'm disappointed in the 15-15 record. I'm disappointed in how the team played up and down inconsistently throughout the season. I'm disappointed in the point guard play. I'm disappointed in the front court play. I'm disappointed in the coaching. I'm disappointed. And we'll see how things play out. Coach Dickey told colleague Sam Khan that they have some work to do for next season. You're damn right. They need a point guard in the worst way. Another mediocre record next season and another opening round loss in the Conference USA tournament next season won't get it done. Especially considering that Houston will be in the Big East 1 year after that. The following year. Things must turn around if you advance basketball on the men's side and women's side. And speaking of the women's basketball team, coached by Todd Buchanan. My. Disappointment. This season came to a merciful end finally with loss number 3 to crosstown rival Rice Owls, 64-50 in the opening round of the Conference USA tournament. Cougs were 12th seed, Owls were 5th seed. I'm not surprised that the Cougs lost to the Owls. Owls are a better team this year, proved it all year, despite the Owls' own inconsistencies. Cougs finished the year 3-26. Let me say that one more time. Coach Todd Buchanan's Cougars finished 3-26. Last season, they were 26-6. Think about it. Coach Buchanan has been in U of H for 2 seasons. His record was 20 games above 500 after his first season. When he enters his 3rd season, he will be 3 games under 500. Think about that. He went from 26-6 to 3-26. Bad recruiting, bad luck with injuries, whatever. Bad results, all the same. The Rice Owls, after their win over the Cougs in the opening round, they followed up with a butt kicking they received by 4th seed UAB on Thursday. They lost 72-46. Yep, that's right, 72-46. So the Owl season is over. HBU women's team, my goodness, they ended the season pretty much with 6 players. The team wasn't very good when they were healthy. But they ended the year 1-27 after their opening round loss in the Great West Tournament to New Jersey Institute of Technology, 61-42 on Thursday night. 1-27. The Huskies did not win the one win did not come against a Division I opponent. It was an 87-70 victory over Houston Tillotson of the NAIA. Think about that. Yes, the Huskies are in transition from their own move up from NAIA to Division I basketball, but they did not win a single game versus a Division I opponent. That is amazing. Coach Gleason and her staff have a long way to go to get better. HBU Huskies men's team lost 65-64 in the opening round game to NJIT on Thursday. Their season is done at 10-20 overall. Some bad basketball being played in Houston this year, wasn't it? Prairie View A&M women's team, God bless them. They have advanced to the finals of the SWAC tournament with 2 wins in the first 2 rounds of the SWAC tournament. First, they thumped Alabama State 62-35 on Thursday. In the earlier, a few hours before this podcast, PV upset, want to call it upset, the top seed in the SWAC tournament, Mississippi Valley State, 58-55 to advance to the final of the SWAC tournament. 1 win away for Coach Toya Wilson to get back to the big dance. Be 2 years in a row. Got to give kudos and shouts out to Coach Toya Wilson and her staff for wearing the hat of Houston area women's basketball on the collegiate level. Wayne doing a good job. Coach Byron Rim on the PV men's team were eliminated, got just blasted in the opening round of the SWAC tournament, losing to Alcorn State 103-79 Coach Rim and his team season end with a 14-17 record. TSU women, Lady Tigers, finished the year 5-26. They entered SWAC play with 4 wins. They won their opening round game in the 8-9 matchup, which shocked the hell out of me. In fact, they won. It beat AC Jackson State 51-49. Then the clock struck 12 and reality came crashing in, and they lost to Mississippi Valley State. The team that Prairie View beat today. Valley beat TSU 70-47. Lady Tigers in the season 5-26. So let me summarize 3 teams that you can read my blog, post in the Women's Hoops blog on the HRR website. See the link to it. TSU, U of H, HBU. 3 teams, 9 wins. 3 teams, 9 wins, 79 losses. With all of the talent in the Houston area, girls high school basketball, Texas Southern, 5 wins. Houston Cougars, 3 wins. Houston Baptist, 1 win. Things must change. I mean, it depends on if the administration of those 3 particular programs care about women's basketball. If they care, then they will make some changes in the programs. Yes, I know Todd Buchanan had a great year last year. He had a great year this year. Team stunk. Because bad basketball is horrible to watch. Same can be said for the TSU. Coach Broughton is probably done at TSU. Depends on the coach, the AD, Charles McClellan, is ready to let her go. All signs that I've heard, she's probably coached the last game as head coach at Texas Southern. We shall see. Coach Gleason, Mary Gleason, HBU's the second year at the Huskies in the transition period, so she may have a little bit more time. But she needs to start winning ball games, bottom line. As I mentioned, Coach Harvey, Texas Southern men's team, they're playing in the SWAC final. And game will be tomorrow afternoon. Both begin at 7 p.m. on ESPNU. PV's women's game will be at 5 p.m. on ESPNU. And wish them both teams well. Hopefully they can both win and advance to the big dance and save some face for Houston area college basketball, because the rest of the teams didn't do anything this week. Now the pro circuit. The Houston Rockets have lost 5 straight games and look bad doing it in each game. And they found different ways to lose, which really is a bad sign. It's not like they've lost the same way with bad defense, which has been bad all year, but they've had enough high-powered offense to overcome those deficiencies. They've lost games in overtime twice. They've got pounded in rebounding. But against the Boston Celtics on Tuesday of this week, they dominated the glass in the C's 57-38. Had a 10-point lead late in the fourth quarter. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 10-point lead. Lost game in overtime. Wednesday, March 7th, in Toronto against a bad Toronto Raptors ball club that struggles to score. The Rockets allowed the Raptors to shoot 60% from the field and score 116 points on the Rockets. Final score was 116-98. Kyle Lowry one interesting thing while watching the games. Kyle Lowry's attitude and his bitching to the refs has started to wear on Rockets TV analysts Bill Borrell and Matt Bullard. So if they're noticing it, clearly the refs are noticing it too. So perhaps Kyle needs to truly go to those anger management classes and get over himself and lead the team by a better example than all this crying that he does to the refs, especially when the team's on a losing streak. Which leads me to Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin's strength is scoring the basketball. Used to be shooting basketball. Not this season. He's in a slump. I don't know if he has not recovered from the trade that wasn't. The trade that David Stern, the Godfather, rescinded. And once Kevin Martin made those comments about Daryl Morey saying that he showed his true cards, Kevin Martin has been the same since. So we'll see if the Rockets can find an NBA team that will take Martin off their hands on Thursday's March 15th NBA trade deadline. On a happier note, The top 10 finalists for the Guy V. Lewis inaugural Guy V. Lewis Award have been announced. And I want to give a shout out to each of these 10 young men. These are 10 high school players who are now 8 seniors, 2 juniors, and they are competing for the top player, boys high school player of the year in the greater Houston area. The 2 juniors, if you know anything about boys high school basketball, and you follow you know who these 2 young men are. They've helped lead the high school team, Fort Bend Travis, to the state championship in Austin, Texas. They are Aaron and Andrew Harrison. The seniors are Shaquille Cleary of the Village School, Daniel House, Fort Bend Hightower, Elkins Branford Jones, Fred Richardson of Clearbrook, Fort Bend Bush's Cameron Ridley, L.J. Rose out of Westbury Christian, Clyde Santee from Jack Yates, and Rashid Suleiman of Drake Jesuit. Rashid and Cameron Ridley will be representing the Houston area in the McDonald's All-America game as well. So most likely they will not be able to attend our March 27th banquet and award presentation because they'll be at the McDonald's festivities. But congratulations to each of these 10 young men. And we're still working out some kinks with the website at guyvlewisaward.org. But hopefully fans will be able to vote for who they believe who should be the player of the year in the next few days at the guyvlewisaward.org website. Kyle Lowry, I'm going back and forth here as you listen to the KG podcast. And thanks once again. Tweet me. I'm starting to get a few more tweets and a few more followers on Twitter at THEHR Review. I'm watching Baylor, Kansas right now on the telly. And it's the rainfall outside. But Kyle Lowry had a little health scare earlier today. And he's doing better now, thankfully. But Kyle Lowry, when I talked earlier about his attitude adjustments that he needs to make, I never like to see anyone in poor health. And I don't, I'm not, because we're all human, we all go through our own problems. But Kyle checked into a New York hospital for tests on abdominal distress and fever. The initial tests were negative, but he listed day-to-day, and he's most likely not going to play Saturday versus the Nets. And then the Rockets, after that, the game against the Nets, will play at Cleveland before heading to Oklahoma City to close out this 5-game road trip. So we wish Kyle Lowry a healthy recovery. And the Rockets, I think Goran Dragic can do a good enough job. Hopefully we'll see how the Rockets respond versus the Nets. Who knows what the Nets are going to do? The Nets have a one-man team with Darren Williams, but Brook Lopez is once again out with injury. So Darren Williams might get his, but the rest of the Nets can't score either. So we'll see what the Rockets do. The Rockets are now 21-19 after this 5-game losing streak. And as of right now, they are outside the playoffs. They're tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves are playing right now versus the other Lakers, and they were leading the Lakers last score I saw. But they both have a 21-19 record. But as anyone knows, and listen to these podcasts, the Timberwolves have won the regular season matchup with the Rockets 3-1. And the 3 wins were butt kickings. Rick Adelman showed his coaching acumen, and he did not forget what the skill level of his former players were. And he coached his new players up, and they handled the Rockets. Kevin Love and Ricky Rubio and Michael Beasley took turns bumping on the Rockets. So as of right now, the Rockets are on the outside looking in of the playoffs, which leads me to the NBA trade deadline. Last couple of days, a few websites, basketball websites, were discussing teams, 10 players who they felt would be the most likely to be traded. Kevin Martin was one of those players. He was number 4 on the list. Are you for that? You want to see Kevin Martin dealt? Rockets need to do something. Whether it's deal Kevin Martin, deal Luis Scola, start over, deal Kyle Lowry, whoever. They need to do something because it's broken. I said earlier on previous podcasts when the Rockets were winning that they were a good team, but they were a team with flaws. And this 5-game losing streak has exposed those flaws or brought them to the light of day and opened the eyes of some folks in the Houston area media who thought the Rockets were actually a great basketball team and were going to have a chance to make some noise. Not as they're currently constructed. I said that a month ago. stand by that, obviously, right now, as they're struggling right now. So, as always, pass along the word to your friends. Tell your friends about the podcast. Visit the Facebook fan page, Houston Round Barbecue Facebook fan page. Tell your friends about me on Twitter at THEHR Review. I'll probably do a podcast Sunday. I may do one Sunday and Monday after the selections are announced in men's and women's fields of 64 and 68. Just get my thoughts on who I may have thought got snubbed or whatever. But in my experience, being in the mock selection on the women's side, I assume that this statement holds true on the men's side. Teams earn their way into the tournament. There's no favorites being played. Teams earn their way into the tournament. You win the game you're supposed to win. You schedule tough competition. And you win those ball games. You take care of business. You don't have problems worrying about if you're in or out come selection show. So keep that in mind on Sunday and on Monday. I'm going to wrap it up. I have to vote for my Women's Basketball Players Awards for United States Basketball Writers Association, which I am a proud member. So look for that. I already voted for the men's awards, and some of those awards already were announced earlier this week with Jacobin Brown. The Longhorns Jacobin Brown was voted the District 7 Player of the Year. The District 7 is players, college players that play in Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. We also voted for the National Players of the Year, and I had no problem telling you I voted for Anthony Davis, Kentucky freshman, for Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Freshman of the Year. I think he's that good. He'll be one and done going to the pros, but I think he's going to be All-American. He may sweep all three awards. I don't think it would not shock me if he does not get National Player of the Year, but the other two are his. Defensive Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year, hands down. Anthony Davis, kudos to you. As always, thank you for listening. Tell your friends about the podcast. We're getting closer and closer. It's 3 weeks from today. I'll be in Denver covering the Women's Final Four. Probably going to do a podcast that Friday night when I get to Denver. Just a little preview of the 4 teams that are in the Women's Final Four and touch on the fellas matchup when they play in Final Four that Saturday night in New Orleans. Talk about that as well. But that's a few weeks away. So, in conclusion, be true. Be cool, and do more.